Hi, welcome to this Corbettmaths video. In this video we're going to look at adding and subtracting matrices. So matrices can be added or subtracted if they've got the same number of rows and columns. So here we've got a 2 by 3 matrix. It's called a 2 by 3 matrix because it's got 2 rows and 3 columns. The number of rows is the first number, so here you can see there's 2 rows, so it's 2, and then by 3 because it's got 3 columns. So this is a 2 by 3 matrix, and this is a 2 by 3 matrix, 2 rows and 3 columns. So because we've got the same number of rows and columns in these matrices, they can be added or subtracted. Here, these two matrices cannot be added because this would be a 2 by 1 matrix because it's got 2 rows and 1 column, so that's a 2 by 1 matrix, and this is a 2 by 2 matrix where it's got 2 rows and 2 columns. And because they're not the same number of rows and columns in both of these matrices, they cannot be added or subtracted. So matrices can be added if they've got the same number of rows and columns. Okay, let's have a look at an example. So here we've got two matrices we're going to add together. We've got the matrix 3, 5 and the matrix 1, 8. Now both of these matrices have got 2 rows and 1 column. 2 rows and 1 column. So this is a 2 by 1 matrix and this is a 2 by 1 matrix, and that means we can add them together. Now to add matrices together, we add the corresponding elements. So an element is a number inside the matrix. So here we've got a 3 here, and here we've got a 1. And these are corresponding elements to both the elements at the top of the matrix. So we'll add those together. We'll do 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. And then in terms of the element beneath, we'll do 5 plus 8, and 5 plus 8 is equal to 13. So if we're asked to add together the matrices 3, 5 and 1, 8, the answer would be 4, 13. Just adding the 3 and the 1 together to get 4, and adding the 5 and the 8 together to get 13. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at another example. So this time we've got a 2 by 2 matrix and another 2 by 2 matrix. That means we can add them together because they've got the same number of rows and columns. We've got 2 rows and 2 columns, and this matrix has got 2 rows and 2 columns. So let's add them together. That means we're going to add the corresponding elements. So we're going to add the top left element here and this top left one here. So we're going to do 4 plus 3, and 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. So that means our top left one in our answer will be 7. Now let's add the top right elements in our matrices. So let's add the -1 and 4, and -1 plus 4 is equal to 3. So our top right element will be 3. Now bottom left element, so we're going to add together 5 and -2, and 5 plus -2, well 5 add -2 would be 3, because when you add a negative number it goes back down, so we're going to do 5 plus -2, which would be 3. And then our bottom right elements, which would be 0 and 1, and 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. So if we were asked to add together the matrices 4, -1, 5, 0, and 3, 4, -2, 1, our answer would be 7, 3, 3, 1. Just adding together the top left and the top left, the top right and the top right, the bottom left and the bottom left, and the bottom right and the bottom right, and that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next example. So our next example, we're going to take away two matrices. We've got the matrix 6, -3, 8, 2, and we're going to take away another 2 by 2 matrix 1, 0, -1, 5, and let's see what we get as our answer. So this time, instead of adding the corresponding elements, we're going to take away the corresponding elements. So we're going to do 6 take away 1, and 6 take away 1 would be 5, so that's in the top left. In the top right, we're going to do -3 take away 0, and -3 take away 0 would be -3. Next, our bottom left element, well, we've got 8 subtract -1 and 8 subtract -1. Well, we're subtracting a negative, so we're going to add it on. So we're going to do 8 plus 1, which is 9. And finally, our bottom right element. We've got 2 subtract 5. And 2 subtract 5 would be -3. So if we've got the matrix 6, -3, 8, 2, and we were asked to subtract the matrix 1, 0, -1, 5, our answer would be 5, -3, 9, -3, and that's it. Okay, let's have a look at another example. Okay, this time we've been given two matrices, and they're both 2 by 2 matrices because they've got 2 rows and 2 columns. And we've got the matrix A, which is 3, 6, 4, -1, and we've got the matrix B, which is 2, -3, 7, 0. And we've been asked to work out A plus B, so we're going to add these matrices together. So to add them together, we'll add the top left, so that's going to be 3 plus 2, and 3 plus 2 is 5. We'll add the top right, so we're going to do 6 plus -3, and 6 plus -3, because we're adding a negative, it's going to go down, so we're going to do 6 take away 3, which is 3. And then the bottom left element here would be 4 plus 7, and 4 plus 7 is equal to 11. And finally, we've got -1 plus 0, and -1 plus 0 would be -1. So our answer would be 5, 3, 11, -1, and that's it. Okay, let's have a look at another question. Okay, this time we've been asked to work out A subtract B. So let's do A subtract B. So we're going to do 3 take away 2, which is 1. We're then going to do 6 take away -3. So 6 minus -3, well, that would be adding on 3, so that would be 9. Then we've got 4 take away 7, which would be negative 3. And then finally, we've got negative 1 take away 0, and negative 1 take away 0 would be negative 1. And that's it. So A minus B would be 1, 9, negative 3, negative 1. Okay, let's look at our next question. Now this time we've been asked to work out B subtract A. So if we're doing B subtract A, well, it's going to be a 2 by 2 matrix, and we're going to do B take away A. So let's start with the top left element. So we've got 2 take away 3, and 2 take away 3 would be negative 1. Then we've got negative 3 take away 6, and negative 3 take away 6 would be negative 9. Then we've got 7 take away 4, and 7 take away 4 would be 3. And then we've got 0 subtract negative 1. So 0 minus minus 1, which would be 0 plus 1, which is 1. And that's it. Now if we have a look at B minus A and compare it to A minus B, you'll notice that they're the same apart from the signs. If we change the signs, so here we've got 1, 9, negative 3, negative 1, and whenever we do B take away A, it's going to be negative 1, negative 9, 3, 1. So we just change the signs. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. Okay, let's have a look at our next part. So our next part, we've got the same matrices A and B, and we've been asked to work out 2A plus B. So instead of being A plus B, we're multiplying A by a scalar. So we're multiplying the matrix A by 2. Now there's a video tutorial on Corbettmaths showing you how to multiply matrices by scalars, numbers, but it's quite straightforward. So let's have a look at it now anyway. So we've got the matrix A, which is 3, 6, 4, negative 1. So if we wanted to find 2A, we would just multiply all of these elements by 2. So we're just going to do 3 times 2, which is 6. We're going to do 6 times 2, which is 12. We're going to do 4 times 2, which is 8. And we're going to do negative 1 times 2, which is negative 2. So we know that 2A would be 6, 12, 8, negative 2. Now we've been asked to work out 2A plus B. So let's write that down. So let's write down our 2A, which is 6, 12, 8, negative 2. And we're going to add B, which is 2, negative 3, 7, 0. And now we just need to add them together, and that will be our answer. So starting with the top left, so we've got 6 plus 2, and 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. Our top right, we've got 12 plus negative 3. So we're doing 12 plus negative 3, so we're adding a negative, so it's going to go down. So we're going to do 12 plus negative 3, which would be 12 take away 3, which would be 9. Our bottom left, so we've got 8 plus 7, and 8 plus 7 is equal to 15. And finally, our bottom right, so we've got negative 2 plus 0, and negative 2 plus 0 would be negative 2. So that means that 2A plus B would be 8, 9, 15, negative 2. So if we've got a number in front of a matrix, that means you're multiplying the matrix by a scalar, and it just means you multiply all the elements by that number. So here we had 2A, so we just multiplied all these numbers by 2 to get 6, 12, 8, negative 2, and then we take that and add B, and that will be our answer. Okay, let's have a look at our last question. So this time we've got two matrices, A and B, and we've been asked to work out 3A minus 2B. So let's take the matrix A and multiply it by the scalar 3. So let's write down what 3A would be. So that means we're multiplying all of these elements by 3. So when we do that, we're going to do 3 times 3, which is 9. We're going to do 6 times 3, which is 18. We're going to do 4 times 3, which is 12, and we're going to do negative 1 times 3, which would be negative 3. So if A is equal to 3, 6, 4, negative 1, 3A would be 9, 18, 12, negative 3. So that's what 3A is. Now it'd be quite useful if we knew what 2B was. So we've got B, now let's find 2B. So 2B is equal to, and that just means multiplying all the elements by 2. So multiplying these numbers by 2 would be 4, negative 6, 14, 0. So we now know that 3A is equal to 9, 18, 12, negative 3. We've got 2B is equal to 4, negative 6, 14, 0. Now we just need to take them away. So let's write that down. So 9, 18, 12, negative 3. Subtract 4, negative 6, 14, 0. And just remember, whenever we're subtracting, we take away the corresponding elements. So we'll do the top left, take away the top left, and so on. So let's do that and see what we get. So 9 take away 4 is equal to 5. We've then got 18 subtract negative 6. When we subtract a negative, we're adding it on, so we're going to do 18 plus 6, which is 24. We've then got 12 take away 14, and 12 take away 14 is negative 2. And finally, the bottom right, so we've got negative 3 take away 0, and negative 3 take away 0 will be negative 3. And that's it. And that's it. So this has been the video tutorial on adding and subtracting matrices. I hope you found it useful. If you have found it useful, please like it, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, and thanks so much. Cheers, bye.